hope you're all doing well since our last adventure. Today, I want to talk a little about vehicles, how to obtain them, how to find the parts, and how to upgrade them. After a few days of walking, you'll realize that vehicles are crucial for traveling faster and more safely. There are different types of vehicles on the island that you can find. Cars, trucks, motorcycles, ATVs, and bicycles. The mechanics and logic are the same for all vehicles. The first step is to find a car, which you can do by exploring the map. In most cases, vehicles will be missing parts that you'll need to collect. The other option is to buy one from other players, since in sovereign shores, traders do not sell vehicles, except for one at a crazy price that you probably can't afford. Let's explore the first possibility. My friend Dave spotted an abandoned truck with missing seats and tires and asked me for help. The first thing I did was trade a bow for a rager's seat, which is harder to find. Then I proposed to Dave that he exchange this newly acquired seat for his Leica so he could actually fix the rager. At this point, we had the seat, but we were still missing the tires. Our first stop was the junkyard, a great place to find parts, especially tires. Town garages are also good spots to find vehicle parts. Finding what we needed didn't take much time. As usual, I grabbed as much as I could. Every single item could be a lifesaver tomorrow, or a good trade with another inmate. The junkyard isn't just about tires. If you explore the different areas, you'll find plenty of scrap, bolts, nails, locks, batteries, and sometimes vehicle parts. It's a gold mine for survivors. Just be careful of the zombies roaming the area. They aren't always easy to spot. After a while, we had what we needed. Or at least, that's what we thought. It was time to leave the scrapyard and head to the truck. And of course, accidents happen. It's important to mention that cars take damage when you perform these kinds of stunts. And to repair the damage, you'll need repair kits, which aren't always easy to find. If you don't repair the vehicle, it will eventually become disabled. So here's Dolores' advice. Drive carefully and stop rushing. Nobody's waiting for you at the office. dealing with a few zombies that didn't exactly welcome us, we finally made it to the truck. The first thing to do is place a jack under the vehicle to install the different parts. Some parts, like doors and the hood, are optional, but others are essential if you want the vehicle to move. A vehicle can drive with 3 tires, but you won't be able to move it without a driver's seat. So, make sure you make a list before heading to a vehicle, or you'll end up making multiple trips. Depending on the side you want to work on, you'll need to move the jack. And try to avoid doing what I do, dismantling the car by mistake.
You have to do it on both sides of the jack. Watch that puppet over there.
And always keep an eye open. Those zombies aren't going to let you go about your business without paying you a few visits. And of course, when you think you're done, you're not. There's always the missing part you tend to forget.
Battery.
And of course, without a battery, the car wouldn't start. Of course, there's the brute force approach. Push the car to your destination, and most likely, collapse from exhaustion. And then, there's the thinker's approach. What do you do when you have one battery for 2 cars and are as good with mechanics as a fish is with a bicycle? You start moving things around, trying to figure out why you can't sit in a car that has no battery. And don't question my intelligence here. But seriously, how ridiculous is that?
Battery?
And no, you can't pull the battery from the car while it's running. At this point, you start getting a little frustrated, but you keep trying. And no, you can't sit in the car without the battery. And when the car is running, you can't remove it. It seems we're a bit stuck here in a Kafkaesque loop. And then you try to put the battery back, and it doesn't work. Well, on the island, you need to be prepared for these kinds of things. Murphy, you know, the guy from Murphy's Law, is the king. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and at the worst possible time. So here we are, stuck with 2 vehicles, close to a zombie nest, a horde alert, and 2 incompetent mechanics trying to figure out how to start 2 cars with 1 battery. Dave finally figures out that by putting the car on a jack, we're able to change the battery. I'm not even going to comment on that. At this point, we decide to head back to town with 1 car, remove the battery from another car, and return to the truck. I'll need to explain to the car dealer why one of his cars suddenly has a missing battery. But one battle at a time. And I'm pretty sure that a good Magnum 44, Dirty Harry style, will convince him that an emergency is an emergency. And back at the truck, we installed the new battery and finally got it running. We're still missing a few parts, I admit, but those can be found in garages, junkyards, or bought from the trader. So that's how you can obtain a vehicle. It's much easier if you have another vehicle. Otherwise, you'll have to carry each piece in your bag and hope no one takes your valuable finds between trips. Friends and teammates are key in scum. You need to trust a few people to watch your back. And that's exactly the case with Dave. Now that you have a vehicle, you can buy the missing parts or upgrade it. I'm not much of a car person, but I have a bike, and it's time for me to spend a little money and upgrade my most faithful companion. At each trader outpost, there's a mechanic, and for some reason, they all look the same and have a Russian accent. I imagine they must have sent the entire family. Anyway, I'm digressing. It's time for me to buy my most wanted item, saddlebags for the bike. To do that, I just have to place the bike on the hydraulic jack and purchase the items I need, since the trader won't sell to me directly. Probably another Russian custom of not serving the customer. As I mentioned before, you can buy a few things from this very friendly mechanic. There's a rager, if, of course, you have a fortune in cash, which is not my case, and a few parts that could be very useful at a more reasonable price. At this point, you know everything you need to about getting a vehicle and upgrading it. Find one on the island, collect the parts, fix it, and you'll be the happy owner of a vehicle that may save your life. Oh, I almost forgot. Don't forget to lock your vehicle. This is an island of criminals, and an unlocked vehicle will most likely be stolen. Now, it's time for me to head back to town and maybe show you a few more things related to vehicles. On the island, like anywhere else, your vehicles will need gas to run. Strangely enough, there are a few gas stations on the island with perfectly functioning ATM machines. Don't ask me how, but it's definitely convenient. However, approach these gas stations with caution, as zombies can be lurking nearby, including the infamous beepers that will explode in your face and destroy your precious vehicle. Now, if you don't want to go through all this trouble, there's always the option to visit the car dealership in Freetown, run by Mr. Shank, and try to negotiate a deal. He usually has a few models in stock and can be flexible. I hope this information helps you survive. Take care, and see you soon.